Welcome to Things That Matter, featuring Farm to Market, caring for kids, and age-reversing health. It's all coming right up on Things That Matter. Now, please welcome your host, Carl Krebs.
Welcome to a special edition of Things That Matter. I'm your host, Carl Krebs. And in the next few minutes, I want to acquaint you with something you may have missed. Right now in Manitoba, there is a campaign, a leadership campaign that's taking place for the PC Party of Manitoba. And if you didn't know that, you're about to find out. Let me acquaint you with some information, some places you can go to get information on it. But right now, here's a word from our sponsor.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity, at exhilaration, it's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
All right, welcome back. My name is Carl Krebs. I'll be your host for the next few minutes. And I wonder how many of you in Manitoba know that there is a leadership campaign on for the PC Party of Manitoba. If that comes as a surprise to you, you're not alone. Many people I've talked to are surprised to learn that the leadership campaign for the PC Party of Manitoba is well underway. And I want to take you to a space where you can be acquainted with this, about who the two candidates are, where they come from, a little bit about their backgrounds, and what should matter to you as you look into this matter of the PC Party of Manitoba. And it is surprising that we were here in 2021. Last time we were here was when there was a leadership challenge. Brian Pallister had abdicated the throne, and the two candidates at that time were Shelley Glover and Heather Stephenson. But at that point in 2021, the PC leadership also involved becoming immediately the premier of Manitoba. So the stakes were rather high. And I'm going to cover that a little bit because I think it's important that we don't forget about what happened in 2021. So before I get into that, let me show you a website here that we can all go to. And this will give you some idea of what's going on here. Who's in the race to become the new leader of the PC Party of Manitoba? And the website is right up here. It's pcmanitoba.com/leadership 2025. Now, on this website, you're going to learn who is, in fact, wanting to become the next leader of the PC Party of Manitoba. And those two candidates are Mr. Wally Dowdrich and Mr. Obi Khan, or Obi Khan, depending on how you pronounce his first name. Obi Khan is, of course, an MLA elected, presently serving in the opposition in the PC Party of Manitoba. And Mr. Wally Dowdrich is a businessman from Churchill, Manitoba. Both of these men want to lead the PC Party of Manitoba. But before we go forward, and before we even talk about the present, why wouldn't we talk about the past? Here's some things that I think you need to know about what's going on in the PC Party of Manitoba. First of all, I learned from a trusted source that the entire PC membership of the PC Party of Manitoba has been scrubbed. Back in December, a decision was made to scrub the entire membership of the PC Party of Manitoba. That should cause you to raise a few eyebrows and wonder, why would that happen? Why would they, in fact, want to scrub the entire membership of the PC Party? It leaves me with some questions. I've got a few answers, a few clues, but I think we need to investigate that further. So what has happened here? They're starting with ground zero, 0 memberships in the PC Party. Now that has already started. So of course there are memberships underway right now, but I want to introduce you to that fact that your membership, which you might be waiting for a renewal on, or maybe you're not waiting for a renewal on, is not coming because it's all new members for the PC Party of Manitoba. And what's happened here is that they've changed the format for voting. And I think you'll want to learn a little bit more about that because it's certainly had its controversy in terms of bringing it forward for the membership to vote on. But here is a video on this site that's going to introduce you to the two members of the two of the candidates that are running for leadership of the PC Party. And as I said, Wally Dowdrich and Obi Khan. And you can learn a little bit more about that. I want to introduce you to also how does this work. On this website, to cast a ballot, you need to be a member of the PC Party of Manitoba. So you're going to need to purchase your membership. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit because a lot of us were activated in 2021 to purchase memberships because the membership at that time was at an all-time low. But with the stakes being so high that the leader of the PC Party of Manitoba would subsequently become the premier of Manitoba, well, that was a lot of motivation because you were not only choosing a leader, you were choosing a premier to take over from Brian Pallister. Further down in this website, now here's the timeline you need to know about. The applications were open as of July 2nd. Did you hear about it? I certainly didn't hear about it. October 15th, the applications closed for who could run as a candidate. And it was by a very slim outside chance, but it did happen that Wally Dowdrich did get in as the second candidate. Mr. Obi Khan was already in right from the beginning. Then there was a fall reception, which took place October 30th. Again, don't know much about that one. But here comes a critical date. February 28th, membership purchase cutoff date. By the end of February 2025, only those people who have memberships will be allowed to cast a ballot. So you can see right down here, membership sales cutoffs and deadlines by which an individual must be a member in good standing in order to vote. And then there is a deadline here of April 18th, which is the last day for mail-in ballots. I'm not so sure about that one. Mail-in ballots seem to leave a sour taste in a lot of conservatives' mouths from 2021. But here's the critical date. On April 26, 2025, at the Leadership Convention, a new leader will be chosen for the PC Party of Manitoba. So I encourage you to look into this website, see what it has to offer you, and go from there. Now, here's the question. Do you really care? Do you really care about the PC Party of Manitoba? It's been a rough ride. Let's face it, folks. The PC Party of Manitoba has a lot to apologize for to Manitobans. And I would like to hear some of those full-throated apologies, should they be asked for. It's up to you to ask the questions. It's up to you to get in front of the candidates at the different events, wherever they appear, and ask them pointed questions. Where do they stand on things like SOGI 123, which has had a huge impact in our schools? Where do they stand on the matters of the LGBTQ and their rights? Where do they stand on anything that matters to a true conservative? Mr. Obi Khan is a practicing Muslim. I don't know much about him. I hope to be in front of him at some point and ask him some candid questions so that we can get to know him. But I do know he has made a statement about LGBTQ rights, and that's a little concerning. I don't know how well that factors in to a true conservative viewpoint. Mr. Wally Dowdrich proclaims to be a Judeo-Christian, practicing, going to church, professes his faith. We want to know more about that man. Because at some point, and I don't suggest it's going to happen anytime soon, that the PC party might have another chance. But let's take a look at what happened in 21. When the stakes were high, 9,000 unaccounted ballots. You remember that? The scam, the controversy of the 9,000 missing ballots on a margin of victory of less than 500. And many of us gathered on the steps of the PC party headquarters right across from the legislature in Winnipeg. We wanted answers. And although it amounted and took the shape of a legal challenge, with Shelley Glover mounting a challenge through the courts with Heather Stephenson, it seems unbelievable that the decision was made that said this was a bona fide, legitimate leadership campaign, and that the winner, who was Heather Stephenson, should stand as the new leader of the party and was instantly sworn in as the Premier of Manitoba. I know a lot of you. I've spoken with a lot of you. I'm a conservative. At heart, I'm a conservative, absolutely. I have conservative values that have guided me my whole life. But this is a concern. How is the PC Party of Manitoba any different than it was back in 2021? The 2 years of Heather Stephenson all but amounted to a complete wipeout of the PC Party of Manitoba. And in the words of Wally Dowdrich, and I'm going to hopefully get some feedback from Mr. Obi Khan, we were punished. We were fired, are his words, in terms of the PC Party of Manitoba. But who was there? Who was at the helm? Who was in the administration? Who was part of the leadership of the PC Party of Manitoba? Those are also questions that need to be answered. But the party itself is in terrible shape in Manitoba. The reports I'm getting are that it is beyond financially broke. It is beyond broke. It has no money. The membership was scrubbed. The entire PC membership was scrubbed. How does that happen? How are we, looking at this and saying, what is there to rebuild? Is there anything to rebuild? I think the effects of the PC party in Manitoba, which were very good initially when Brian Pallister took over as premier, faded and just completely disappeared into nothing. And it virtually handed the NDP government a victory, a huge victory. How long it'll take for the PC party to get its legs underneath it, find its balance, and be able to offer something to Manitobans? Well, that starts now, because the party needs to be rebuilt. There's simply no other way to look at it. The PC Party of Manitoba has to answer for its sins of the past and assure conservatives that this will never happen again, that we actually will have a conservative party. There's an old joke a friend of mine told me years ago. He said, you can find the conservative party, you just can't find a conservative in the party. I think this is a concern for those of us that do profess to possess, to admire, to uphold, to have been born and raised on conservative principles, that we do need a conservative party in Manitoba. Is it the progressive conservative party in Manitoba that we need? Or is it another version of conservative that we need in Manitoba? I encourage you to get involved, pay attention to where these events are being held, and go out and ask these candidates some honest questions, not the lofty ones that talk about management of resources and such things that you're virtually going to get either one, both of them, to agree on. Let's talk about the differences between these two candidates. Let's talk about what does Obi Khan presume to offer to conservatives? What is Mr. Wally Dowdrich offering to conservatives? Because it's only conservatives that'll be voting. And you have to decide whether or not this is important enough for you to get involved. And to get involved is to purchase a membership. $20 and you're in. $20 to cast a ballot for the leadership of the PC Party of Manitoba. That's up to you. I just want to be here to let you know what's going on so that you can take appropriate action. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you again here real soon.